Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing this Jeep Wrangler that was built out by AEV. Before we get into this video though, as always, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Sandy, Utah for giving me some time with this Wrangler. I'll include a link to their website in the description down below so you can check out what they have currently. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. So powering this particular Wrangler is the naturally aspirated 3.6 liter Pentastar V6. Goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. It is good for 285 horsepower and then 260 pound-feet of torque. Now you can get this AEV kit on the 392 Wrangler, the 4xe Wrangler, and the 2.0 Turbo Wrangler. That is right, you can get this kit with any powertrain. This one just happens to have the V6. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So the first big upgrade is going to be this front bumper. So what you'll notice is that, well, it ends right here, which is going to help out with approach angle massively, especially when it comes to the tires, right? Because there's nothing getting in the way of the tire, which is great. Still has the fog light though integrated, and yeah, it can take an impact. You also have the lights integrated onto the bumper, and then we have the Warn winch, which is an upgrade with this. And I mean, it just makes the Wrangler look super sweet if you ask me. Now the next upgrade that's kind of harder to see is going to be the steering stabilizer upgrade, which is, well, important for any Wrangler, especially when you add bigger tires. And speaking of bigger tires, this has 37s added to it in the front and the rear. Still have 17-inch wheels, but notice, got AEV's wheels, which I think looks super cool. But yeah, I just love the look of like the small wheels with tons of sidewall on the tire. It looks great. So we've got the dual RT suspension. If you guys are wondering, Bilstein shocks for the whole setup. 2.5 inch if you guys are wondering in terms of the lift on it. But overall, it's a really good setup. We'll talk about it more with the driving, but I mean, it looks pretty cool seeing the shock there. And when we take a few steps back, you can see the stance of this. I mean, it really shows just how cool this whole setup looks. And on top of that, notice we actually have some rock rail protection as well, so that's another big benefit. Now, this does have a spare 37 on the back, which is really cool looking, but also very heavy. And so you can see, if you kind of follow this down, actually attached to the frame here. And then obviously we got this AEV, well, this part right here, but AEV bumper, you guys can see with how reinforced this is. It actually does help out with departure angle quite a bit, but it also just like looks super aggressive. And then we actually have a diff cover as well. So that's another big thing, right? Because that's one of the low-hanging fruit when you are off-roading. And then you probably noticed here also we got some fuel storage with this as well. And if you're wondering, it does have some like heft to it, but like, I mean, you just got to hit the gym a little bit for you to be able to like comfortably open this. Obviously, it doesn't have any gas in it. If that had, well, the 10.2 gallons of gas in it, that would make it even heavier. And that means that, well, just start doing some bicep curls. But anyways, the outside of this thing looks so sweet. It just has this like aggressive, like tall look. And I know it just looks like it's ready to tackle the world. And then I forgot to mention, you do have, of course, little AEV badge. And then the other AEV stuff is going to be on the headrests inside, as you can see, and then also with the gauge cluster as well. Notice it says AEV. But then the rest of this is just gonna be the regular Rubicon interior. By the way, this is built off Rubicon, so that means that we have front and rear lockers, we have a sway bar disconnect, we got Jeep's four-wheel drive system as well, and so you guys get the point. So here is our sticker for this. So this is the stock vehicle price, right? This is the vehicle it's built off of. It's a $56,000 Rubicon. And then you can see the standard features. There's the base price of the AEV package, right, the edition. And then this has some options added to it as well. After all options, this one stickers for $79,134. And we're gonna do a pretty fun, well, I think it's fun, test today with this AEV Wrangler. Well, we are going to set off in the AEV Wrangler, and I've never taken one of these on the highway. So we're going to do that today. I want to take a little bit more of an extensive drive in this, because I feel like I've done quite a few reviews on these, but you know, I just want to see with the gearing and everything how this performs on the interstate. And if you're wondering, they do upgrade the axle ratio. It's like 4 point, I should have mentioned that in the walk around. It's like 4.6 something, I believe. But you know, it's more than the Extreme Recon package with the Wrangler. So either way, it's an aggressive enough axle ratio, which means that you can move the 37s even with the V6. Even with what I would consider the Wrangler's weakest powertrain here at elevation, because it's naturally aspirated and it's got the least amount of torque. The 2.0 definitely performs better at higher elevation. But I will say, super comfortable with the ride. That's something that's, you know, sometimes with Bilstein shocks, they can kind of be a little bit more on the, I wouldn't say like super harsh, but they just like, they'll stay firmer, which helps out with handling and everything. But, you know, obviously it's not the best necessarily for ride quality. So it was weird for me to drive a V6 Wrangler. You guys, if you guys watch the channel, you know I own a 392, and it's like they're completely different vehicles. This has such like a light front end and light steering and everything, whereas the 392, it's everything's just heavier. It feels like a different vehicle. I will say though, I do like the Rubicon themed interior. Like every single time I pop back into this, I'm like, you know, I don't mind the red. I will say the steering stabilizer helps out quite a bit. It seems like the steering's more direct. Still, you know, Wrangler vague steering, but it seems like it's a little bit more direct. Does this have no top insulation? I was like, why is the wind noise so bad? But yeah, the top insulation helps out quite a bit with that. But yeah, I mean, this feels like, I just remember like old Wranglers, like they'd be kind of scary to drive, but this feels so stable. Like and I feel like I'm in control of it as well. Yeah, over the bumps, this is squishy. I like it. Keeps it comfortable. Yeah, and this is where I think the Bilsteins kind of shine, is when you take turns. It just handles like, it's super tight. Yeah, so much torque. This little turn right here will also kind of show it. Yeah, so tight. Well, we may or may not be able to get up to highway speeds like I expected, because it's like, look at this, it's complete bumper to bumper. This is my luck. Of course, when I want to take this up to faster speeds to finally see what this would handle at higher speeds, this is what we get. Someone probably crashed. That's just how stuff works sometimes. But regardless, I will say, a little bit of a longer drive with this. I really like this. It makes me less annoyed with the Wrangler. And I know that sounds weird to say, but like, my ownership experience with the Wrangler has been kind of interesting. It's a really fun vehicle overall, but like, I've kind of shied away from driving it on a regular basis because of, oh my gosh, I was like, those people are gonna hit into each other. We're gonna get that on camera, never mind. But like, just some of the things that are annoying about the Wrangler, like the noise, that's something that I can deal with, but like sometimes the suspension, the steering, it just gets so annoying. But this like literally fixes it. This doesn't have the annoying steering that my Wrangler has, and the suspension's a lot better. Like it's comfortable over bumps, but then it's tight around corners. And so I feel like I have all, this has all the benefits of what my Wrangler has, but then it's better. It's got the benefits of the squishiness over the bumps, but then the handling is so good in this. So something's up with the AEV kit. You know, obviously this is like the fully kitted out version, right? You've got, again, you got the gas can on the back, you've got the lift, the tires, the wheels, the shocks, everything, the bumpers, right? But you can, like, AEV lets you just purchase, like, you can get the steering stabilizer with the shocks and the lift, and then it would drive just like this one, right? It obviously wouldn't have all the cool stuff on the outside, but it would drive just like this one. And so, yeah, the more I drive this, more I realize I should just get the kit already. It just doesn't have the body roll that you'd normally get with the Wrangler, which I like that so much. This is a much better driving experience. But let me know what you think about the AEV kit, and let me know, like, let me know which part of this kit you like the most. Do you like the bumpers the most? Do you like the, I mean, tires, right, that's whatever. Everyone likes 37, so that's out. But do you like the bumpers the most? Do you like the lift the most? Or do you like the headrest logos? Is the headrest logos, is that where you're like, ooh, that hits the spot? Let me know.